Hello everyone, I'm Prasad. The real Eureka moment was not when artificial intelligence generated ABAP code. That part was impressive, but it is not the hardest part. The real moment came when my custom SAP AI Agent Hub connected to an ABAP Cloud Trial system, discovered RAP and OData entities, read their schemas, and made SAP data consumable by working agents. That changed the problem completely because until then AI was mostly outside the SAP system. It could answer questions, it could generate examples, it could explain concepts, but it was not truly connected to a live SAP context. And without context, even a good answer remains limited. The challenge started with authentication. The ABAP trial system works through browser-based login. That is fine for a developer, but a custom external application normally expects something different. Reusable credentials, service key, a programming authentication flow, a stable connector. But the trial system was not designed like a normal enterprise integration endpoint. So the architectural question became very clear. How do we make the trial system consumable by AI agents without storing SAP password, without exposing browser tokens, and without disturbing the existing connector architecture? The answer was a local, isolated, read-only ABAP cloud wrapper. Think of it as a control bridge. On one side, this is the authenticated ABAP trial session. On the other side, there is the SAP AI Agent Hub. The wrapper sits in between them. It does not own the SAP password. It does not store the browser token. It does not create uncontrolled execution path. It only exposes the minimum read-only capability needed for learning, testing, and agent validation. The wrapper made few things very possible. First, RAP and OData v4 entity discovery. The agent could now see which entities were available. Second, metadata and schema reading. The agent could understand the structure before trying to reason over the data. Third, controlled read-only queries. The agent could consume information but not change the SAP system. Fourth, normalized JSON. The SAP response became easier for AI agents to process consistently. And fifth, explicit source selection. The agent knew where the evidence came from. That is important because in enterprise architecture, connectivity is not enough. A connection without boundaries becomes risk. A connection with clear boundaries becomes architecture. This small breach had a big impact. It turned the SAP ABAP trial system from development sandbox into a practical learning environment for SAP-aware artificial intelligence agents. Now, the agent was not only answering from my general knowledge. It could discover a real SAP service, read the metadata, understand the schema, query controlled information, and use the evidence inside an agent workflow. This is the foundation for serious SAP agent design, not magic, not demo confidence, a governed connector, a controlled boundary, a readable schema, a reliable evidence path. This also changed how I looked at SAP AI architecture. The large language model is only one part of solution. The real architecture around is authentication, connectivity, authorization, source selection, data normalization, read-only controls, event traceability, and separation between recommendation and execution. That is where SAP architecture becomes critical. Because once an agent can consume SAP data, the next question is obvious. What is it allowed to do? Can it read the data? Can it summarize? Can it recommend? Can it trigger? Can it post? Can it change configuration? Every step increases the risk level. So the boundary must be designed before capability is celebrated. For me, this was the real lesson. AI becomes more useful when it connected to SAP context, but it becomes safer only when the connection is governed. The future is not just adding a model to SAP. The future is building a controlled operating layer around SAP aware agents. One that can discover, read, reason, and recommend, but only within the boundaries we designed. That was the real Eureka moment. Not code generation, controlled SAP context consumption. That is where the real architectural journey starts. Thank you.